Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Happy Saturday to you all. This is Anika here with the Julie Netting collaboration. We are in the summer July episode, and I am super excited because I was kind of nervous because I didn't know what I was going to do with this doll that was going to represent summer. And I didn't have a lot of summer stuff. I'm not a themey type crafter. So it was kind of challenging. And so then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And I decided that I'm into the watercolor things. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I'm into this watercoloring with either my markers or my distress inks or the oxides or all the different mediums for watercolor. I'm kind of into that right now. So I said, well, let's see what I can do. So I'm going to show you a project, and then I'm going to explain to you some of the things I did to it. But it's based in watercolor. So not anything major, but, you know, it's what I'm feeling. So here she is. I have to put her down because she's really big. So I took a sheet of Canson watercolor paper. Let me make sure. Not Canson, but Strathmore watercolor paper, and I put it down on a hard surface, taped it down with the blue tape so it doesn't pool all over the place. And I decided I was going to do two things. You can either do wet on wet or wet on dry from what I know right now of watercolor. And so some of the areas are wet on wet and some of the areas are wet on dry. And I did that throughout the whole thing. Now mind you, I've never done this before. Does it look like she's on a beach? Because that's the whole point. She's supposed to look like she's on a beach. So if you've been around for years, you'll know that I am from Bermuda. The island in the sea, yes. And so I'm here in the U.S. now, and this is my home, away from home. And every now and then I kind of miss it. I miss it all the time, though, especially in the summer, because who doesn't want to take 5 minutes and drive to the beach? Okay? So yes, I miss it. And so this is me when I dream at night, because I'm not that skinny, but that's me. And I went and I just decided, okay, I'm just going to go for it. And so I wet all this top surface. I said I'm going to do the sun first. And so I wet this whole top surface, this top area right here. And then I came in with my watercolor brush, and I'm using Distress inks. And so I am using this palette right here. I think I showed it before, where I smushed the color onto the palette. And all this is a sheet of white cardstock laminated. That's it. That's it. And actually, I purchased this one at a scrapbook store. You can actually make your own, but I didn't feel like pulling out my laminator and stuff. And a lot of crafters just use the back of packaging like this. Alright, so this is a packaging piece. And a lot of crafters use that. I just wanted a dedicated spot to do this. So whenever I felt like watercoloring and using my Distress inks, I didn't have to go find packaging. So that's what I decided to do. But anyway, that's how I got the colors onto my palette. I just smushed them down, right? And then I picked up the yellow, and because it was already wet, and I kept it wet, and I just kind of dropped the ink in and kind of made the shape that I needed. And then I didn't want to get too close to anything, because I didn't want the blue and the yellow, excuse me, to make green. So I didn't want to get too close. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do blue next. Let me step back. Before I put any ink down, any watercolor down, I did go ahead and stamp her. I stamped her with Versamark ink, and then I heat embossed her with white embossing powder. And I stayed away from her, and if you look, you can see where I'm not totally touching her with my watercolor. Or I'm just kind of putting a little haze around her. Even though the embossing helps to keep the watercolor in. So if you are new to embossing and watercoloring, I would try heat embossing because it helps keep your watercolor in the little areas, right? So I did that, and then, like I said, I started out with the yellow, and then I went in with the sky. And I didn't know how I was going to make the beach. So, I mean, the ocean. So I didn't want to say the ocean. So here's the sky. And then down below, I just added some brown for the sand, the beach. Even though Bermuda, our beaches are pink. Our sand is pink on the beach. And I just used a calligraphy stamp set to put life as a beach. And that's kind of it. That's what I felt like today. It took about 45 minutes. I did not have to redo this project, so I'm super excited about that. And yeah. So thank you so much for stopping by. This is the Julie Nutting collaboration, and I will link everybody who's in the collab in the description box below. Have a fabulous Saturday, and I will see you in the next video.